another key is that when we try and move into something new, which is the name of the game when we're looking for a new job, that is a huge trigger for the inner critic. It's a huge trigger because for the most part, the inner critic, these voices want to keep us safe, and the way they keep us safe is to keep us small. Um,
So, so it would prevent us from moving forward to find a career with purpose and meaning.
yeah, absolutely. It would want to keep us working at a level that we've already worked, something that pays less than we want, with people we don't really want to be around. Because if we're used to being in pain, it's just incredible. If we're used to being in pain, we will, most of us, there's some statistic about this, will choose the pain that we know rather than the unknown.
Sure. Another way to say that is the devil you know versus the devil that you don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, I know for me, I stayed in a marriage a really long time because, and my therapist is the one that told me this expression. She said, "You would rather stay with the pain that you know," because I couldn't understand why was I still there. Because it was familiar and it gave me a degree of control rather than the void. It felt like the void, and I think that's what losing your job feels like.
Right. It's sort of like Candace Pert's molecules of emotion,
Adore her, yes.
and becoming addicted to that we know, because that's what feeds. I don't know if you would say ego, but it feeds what we know.
Well, I've thought about it a lot, and I think for me, what it makes sense is that it feeds an identity. And I think I'd rather not use the word ego because I think we need our egos, especially when we're looking for a job. I mean, the ego is something that gets us into action and moves. It isn't it isn't the part that says, "Oh, you're so fabulous." You're better than everybody. That use of the word ego, what we're talking about here. But I think if I have always thought of myself, not even consciously, as someone who, let's say, sits in a cubicle, I've been told what to do, I know how to get an A on my paper, I know how to respond to direction, I'm really good at that. And then I lose that position. When I've lost my job, I don't have anyone to tell me what to do necessarily. I don't know. I don't dress. I'm a completely different person. I am a person without my cubicle, without direction, without my job, without people knowing who I am. And when people say, "What do you do?" I can't answer that. We live in a culture that what we do and what our profession is and what our work is very important to people's responding to us. And when we can't answer that question, um, we can feel really lost, and that's a place where the negative voices can grab hold.
Yes, because I know that I was so tied, whole identity was so tied to what I did, what my profession was, what my job was.
Yeah,
And when I lost that, I didn't know who I was anymore.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it was devastating.
yeah. It can be shameful. It's a place of where shame can really get a hold on us if we've been shamed as children, and most of us have. And I think when we worked really hard to be successful and to create a work identity, the more we've done that, the deeper the fall in the inner fall can be.
Okay, so like I need to find a job,
Uh-huh.
and I'm laying there at night. Is most of what happens as you're laying there at night what's keeping you awake at night?
Yeah, that's when it's the most obvious, I would say, is one can tune into it, that anxiety at night, or that restlessness and you can't go to sleep and you're replaying the day, or that just happened and you're calling yourself names about that, or you're looking at the next day and you're calling yourself names about that. It's kind of a name calling game. It happens most obviously when we relax and we're letting our minds wander, like when we're going to sleep, it can come in. The other thing is that sometimes it's really obvious when someone notices, I have been trying for a week to make that phone call. Everyone told me this person's going to help me. They could make all the difference. They're going to edit my resume so that it has all the keywords I need, and I haven't made the call. And then I start saying, what an idiot am I? What's wrong with you? You're a loser. You're too old. You can't make it. You can't even make a phone call. And it just builds like that, creating a painful inner situation that is paralyzing. Ultimately, this works to paralyze us from taking the action we really want to make. And it seems so mysterious because we go like, I want to do this. Why can't I? What's wrong with me? And then it starts in again.
And does it have anything to do with, well, I don't want it enough, so it must not be for me?
Sure. And I think that's a really great question, Jeannie. How do we distinguish a voice that's really telling us, our intuition, that, hey, this is a real no. This is a no, from a voice that says, this could be a yes, and I'm too afraid to find out.
So it distinguishes between truth and falsehood.
Yeah, and that's tricky.
Yes. Yes.
How do I trust myself? It's underlying a lot of this. Who is, and they're big questions, who is this voice? Is this a voice that's true guidance and helping me, or is this warning me off from something that I really should stay away from? Or is this a voice of resistance that's trying to keep me safe and from growing and from reaching out and moving into something new?